A friend of mine just sent me a video of Rwanda. It's very interesting because the presenter of the video was so eloquent and his presentation was so captivating. He spoke about the landmass of Africa having at least 30.5 million kilometers square, and how US has at least 9 million. China can fit into Africa, even India, all of them combined, even Europe can fit into Africa. And he also spoke about the manipulation of how the West use the social media or media platform to project a certain image about Africa. He make a very famous example of how they use map to present Africa as if Africa is just a little continent or little country. And he gave a list of about 100 plus something British companies that are exploiting land with a mining license in Africa, and how Africa has been feeding the West. And he also gave a list of some of the precious mineral resources that the world need for the fabrication of gadgets and other stuff that they are entirely dependent on Africa. I totally agree with such narrative, but I want us to be honest with each other. I want us to tell each other the truth. Of course, we have problem in Africa, but what is our problem? Well, that is what we need to identify. It is very easy to blame the West about our problem, about our misfortune, and everything that is happening to us. But our problem is both external and internal. This is what we need to identify. This is what we need to tell ourselves every single day. Now, we cannot just focus on the West exploiting Africa and not think about what we have done to ourselves. And I'm also not in accordance with the people who find it very charming and appealing to accuse our government. I also think that we as individuals have a responsibility to play and to contribute for the development of humanity. And this is the objective of this video. So just give me a few minutes, let me speak about it. And I invite you to leave your comment. Not just to watch this video, but to apply what we are going to speak about here. This is very, very, very important if we are at least we are serious about the development of Africa. Now, our problem is both external and internal. External is obviously the exploitation and the wrong projection of Africa. It's not just Africa that is experiencing that. Even China had for a very long time been projected as poor and polluted, but they have taken the boot by the straps, and they are now positioned and they are now getting to a position of becoming a global superpower. Now, it is internal. Where have we failed ourselves as Africans? We have failed ourselves both politically, economically, technologically, and socio-culturally. These are some of the domains we need to identify and work on improving on them. Now, politically, we have a very poor political system that the West cannot help us to fix it. Economically, we haven't worked internally to try to set things in place. We haven't provided ourselves with light. We cannot blame the West for that. We haven't provided ourselves for the road. We cannot blame the West either, or even seaport. We cannot blame the West for that. We have to fix this things. We also have to clean our environment of pollution and other stuff, trivial things that we don't even name our street. These things are not problem of the world. This is our personal problem that we first of all have to fix before blaming the West for. Now, I've seen a lot of Pan-Africanists, a lot of Afrocentrists, a lot of social activists. They are always, it's so sweet, to blame the West or blame the devil for our misfortune. But no, we have to also look inwardly and tell ourselves what we first of all need to do to help ourselves before we start looking outward. Those foreign companies, those British and French companies that are exploiting Francophone countries, exploiting all those Anglophone countries, they are not there because they were more powerful. Or Africa wasn't colonized because the West was more powerful or stronger than us. Africa was colonized because Africa was so weak and defenseless. Now, if we're really serious about any development, we have to look back into history and ask ourselves, what was the error? The error is very simple. Our land borders weren't protected. Even today, as I'm speaking to you, our borders are still poorly protected. So that means that we haven't devised solution to the problem that we're faced with. You see what I'm saying? So we have to first of all correct some of these things before we think of how we can go. And there is another, Africans also have this wrong notion of governance. They think the government is responsible for the production of everything. We're not living in China. We have a system, a political system that requires individual participation. And we have to see it that way, except there isn't a huge reform and the government is replaced with an authoritarian government the way China is. If not, our current system needs to function this way. We need to see it as a football match. African government need to see it. Africans need to see the government as a football system. Those that are watching football, you know what I'm talking about. In football, you have the referee, and the governance in Africa, the government, I'm talking about from the president to the lower chancellor, they are their duty is referee. What do I mean by this? Their duty is to propose policies, to propose laws, to do all these things, and all the government bodies are supposed to join hands together to set up these laws and set up this policy that will favor their country, both local policy and foreign policies. This is what governance does. But the real movers of the economy, the real movers, they are the citizens. The players of the economy. The players play football to score. When the players are good, the team move higher. It's not about the referee. Of course, the referee has the power to break the system if he acts unjust, if he award a penalty to some other group and leave the other groups. This is what government need to do, not to give monopolies to other people, but to allow people to function. It's very easy to see this thing. I don't have to give you a further illustration. Someone like Dangote, for example, the richest black man in Africa, if we can have at least more up to 10 or 50 or 100 Dangote in different sectors, imagine how powerful our economy will be. Imagine how powerful that is. So the responsibility of government is to create enabling environment for businesses to thrive, for businesses to come up upstream. And this is what our government is supposed to do. And on the final note, I wrote a letter to Israel Adesanya and to Usman Kamaru Usman, and I also wrote another letter to Ajagba, and another one to what is his name? I've forgotten his name. But these are Nigerian international or boxers. These people are famous abroad. They have made name for themselves, the championship. So what I wrote to them, I will share the screenshot with you. I advised them to go back to invest in Nigeria. And this is where personal responsibility comes in. The government cannot entirely go on and say, oh, we want to construct a boxing arena here, or we want to build the biggest stadium. No, what I want them to do is to make sport a business the way Manchester, Man United, these are private clubs. They have the people who founded them turned them into business. So I wrote these individuals and I told them, I said, look, go back to Nigeria and build the biggest stadium in the world, where talent in Nigeria, first of all, it will create employment for during the construction, thousands of employment. It will also help bring out talent. It will also help make a political statement in Nigeria. Imagine them going abroad, fighting and making money and placing Nigeria there in the world map. And this is what we as individuals need to do. But as celebrities, our people who make money prefer to just party. That's all they could do, enjoy themselves and make money for themselves and buy cars and buy wristwatch and buy all the luxury things, and they forget about investing in their home country. Now, what am I doing as an individual? You might ask yourself. First of all, my first responsibility is creating this awareness. Now, I'm making this video available to you, and I'm inviting us to dialogue. I'm inviting us to ask questions. I'm inviting us to look at the weaknesses of our system and what we can do to improve them. I do personally have personal project of what I can do in Africa in terms of agriculture, in terms of technology, in terms of fashion, in terms of politics, what we can contribute as individuals. We cannot always depend on our government. The fact that you can be able to take care of yourself, take care of your family, and do good things for yourself is sufficient enough to contribute to the development. Imagine if all Nigerians do something positive to help themselves. By helping yourself, you have helped already the development of your community. By keeping your environment clean, by not doing the bad things, by not harassing people on the street, you're already helping the development. So these are some of the trivial things we need to look into. So we need to look inwardly what we can do. Not just blame our state or not just blame external power. What we can do as personal individuals for the contribution and for the development of our community and of our society. So I will stop here. I will not speak more about this. I'll just invite you to leave your comment. Tell me what you think you can do about this. So you have to educate yourself, politically, economically, financially, what you can do for your community. You have to go search for books. There was a time I was very ignorant about my community. But today I've helped myself through personal studies and research and other stuff to find solution to how I can help my community. And this is what you need to do. Once you discover this, then you transmit this value to your children, and your children will go around to become better citizens. Better citizens now become, they create a